Hey you guys, Oracle DBA girl here. Today I just want to talk to you all about user privileges role. We're gonna do a hands-on activity. It's a lot to learn in this video. If you have not read chapter 5, please go ahead and read chapter 5. I think it talks about managing users and things of that nature. That's basically where we're coming from. For this, we are gonna work with scripts. So you're going to need FileZilla. FileZilla is a file transfer protocol application. I use it all the time. I use it every day. It's not a day that don't go by where I don't use it. And it allows you to transfer files from one server to the next, like from my computer to the database. So basically that what it gives you the ability to do, and not really the database, but from this is a Mac, so it'll give me the ability to transfer it from my Mac to the Linux server. And you'll see we're going to be very hands-on. So the very first thing you need to do is download FileZilla. I already have it on this computer, but if you don't have it, you're going to go to Google and just type in download FileZilla. If you have a Windows, do Windows. If you have a Mac, do Mac. I think most people have a Windows. So if we do Windows and you just click here, if you have a Mac, they're gonna give you the same thing. You click there and you download it. It's a very easy download. You're gonna need that for this video. So go ahead and download that. Alright, let me go ahead and open it. And we're gonna transfer some scripts that we're gonna be using today. If you're familiar with it, great. If you're not, I'm going to explain everything to you. The scripts. I'm going to give you all access to my Google Drive. That's where the scripts are. To download it from the Google Drive, let's see. Drive. Okay. It's going to be in this location, and I'm going to give you all access here. You can just click on title, and I normally just right click and then hit download. When you do that, you're just going to hit download here. Leave everything just like it is and hit download. It zipped the file, and then, well, I know what it did, but let's just say if you don't see anything and you're not sure, it says click here to download. It gave me another window, so that tells me it downloaded it. If I click here, okay, it took me here. So if I right click and I say show in Finder, it's going to show me what it downloaded. These are the scripts that we're going to use. So, I want to move these to another folder so I can make it easy on myself. Alright, copy these. And let me make a folder and call it, oh, it can stay that way, I don't care. Okay, so I'm going to come on this, we're going to use FileZilla to transfer these files. Put the files on your desktop just as I did in that title folder. So what we're going to do is we're going to open FileZilla. Okay, and to show you all, well, let's do this. Okay, local site. This is going to be your actual computer right here. This is going to be your actual computer. Let me show you where we are on your actual computer. Okay, what users, Henner, desktop. Okay, this is where I am. This is the folder that we want. The scripts. You all see them? That's how I did it. So that's where we are in the local computer. So, okay, it's asking for, you're going to need your host Now, the host is going to be the IP address of the Linux server. You all remember when we did ifconfig, we got the Linux server. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look at the installation for Linux server and you will get it. And just plug that number in there. I think that's right. I hope so. Okay, now it's asking for your username. Your username is going to be the person that you created for that database. Normally, when you first create the database, is Oracle or whatever you want it to. It's the user we created when we were creating the database. I use my test, and the password is whatever you set your password to. Now, the port. Like I stated earlier, FileZilla is a file transfer application. So the protocol for file transfer is 21. So you can use 21 here, but I always use 22 because 22 is for secure file transfer. So hit 22 and go ahead and connect. If everything succeeded, you should get this. Now, when it's your first time using FileZilla, I believe some type of message comes up about trusting. Hit OK, because you want to trust. Alright, so now what I want to show you all, well, hold on. Okay, I'm going to click on this backslash. Now, this may look familiar to you all, but if it does not, I'll show you where we are. So, okay, you know that backslash, we've already talked about that. If you come here on your PuTTY prompt and you type cd space backslash and then do ls minus al. Alright, we're going to scroll up to the top. Okay, now we're going to compare. Anything that has a dot, we're not going to pay attention to it. If you look here, we have ADMDBA. You have ADMDBA there. You have bin here, you have bin there. You have boot here, you have boot there. So basically, using the file transfer program, we are in Linux basically. Now what we're going to do is we're going to transfer those. You all remember in the tools, tips, that video, we created some folders and we gave it some alias. What we did was, I think I set it up to where if you just type S, it should take you to your scripts directory. But if you did not set that up, the way to get there is cd space backslash ADMDBA slash scripts. If you put your scripts folder anywhere else, then you will have to know how to get there. We're gonna move all our scripts, those scripts that I just showed you all, the ones that we downloaded to our desktop, we're gonna move those there. Now if you want to, what you can do, I don't recommend it. I like to be very organized. So what we'll do, okay, on this side, on the remote site, on the Linux site, we'll click on ADMDBA and we'll come down and we'll click on scripts. Okay, so now we're in the scripts directory. Now it's really up to you. We'll do it both ways. Let me show you this. If you want, you can just drag this folder down. Okay, you just drag that folder down. So if you come over here and you do ls minus ltr, that folder is there. To get in that folder, you would do cd. Notice there's a space there. Anytime there's a space there, that's bad. You really don't want that, but if you wanted to get into it, you would just do, what's that called, parentheses? I think, not parentheses, quotation mark, and then you can just hit tab and then hit enter, and there's your scripts. Me personally, you guys, I like organization, so I would not do that. What I would do, first of all, is I'm going to do cd ls minus ltr, and then I'm going to do remove minus rf, and then I'm going to remove this folder. Now what I would do, if it was me, I would basically, one second, let's do this, because that folder is no longer there because we just removed it. So up here you have this button right here. This button is refresh. If I click this button, it's gonna bring it to its up-to-date status. So what I would do, we're still in the scripts directory. I would just move those scripts over one by one. You can highlight all of them, but for now, for teaching purposes, I'm just gonna bring them over one by one. So those scripts are there. It says directory listing successful. So if I come here and do ls, you have the 5 scripts that we're gonna be working with. So right now, we are done with FileZilla. And also another thing too with FileZilla though, before I close, let's say you want to transfer these over here. You can do that as well. Just like wherever you want this, let's say you wanted to put them on your computer, and I'm just gonna pick a random folder. Let's do documents. I think I have an Oracle folder. Yeah, I do. So let's say for instance, I want to take these scripts, highlight all of them, computer. Want to be difficult, but basically I can just pull it over here and it'll put the scripts over there as well. So anything that you have on your Linux server and you want it on your PC, you can just use it to do that, and it'll be there, and I can show you all if I can find. Okay, let me show you all just for learning purposes. Okay, CD to documents, and I think it was in Oracle ls. See, the scripts are there. So make life easy. I use it every day on my job. Just made life easy. So we're really done with that for now. So alright, so now what we want to do is we're gonna get into this activity. Okay, I have unlock account and change passwords. So let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is SQL. This is DBA. Now, when we created this database, and if you all have read that book, they talk about simple schemas. When you first created this database, it came with, I think, 4 simple schemas. I don't remember all 4. I remember 3. I remember Scott, I remember OE, and I remember HR. Most people always work with the the HR schema. Those accounts, when those accounts are first created, those accounts are locked. So the first thing we're going to do is go check that, and I will show you all. This is something you all definitely want to keep in mind. What I'm going to do right now is a describe on DBA tables. Anytime you do a describe, it shows you, hold on, did I do the right describe? I did the wrong table, I'm sorry. Describe DBA users. Okay, now you all want to remember DBA users. This is the table that has all information about every user in your database, any user. And this is the information that is stored in that table. These are going to be, you have the username, the user ID, the password, the account status. So these are stored in the columns. And basically, what we're going to do right now is we're going to look at the Scott user, we're going to look at the OE user, and we're going to look at the HR users for, we're going to look at the username and their account status. That's all we're interested in right now. So to do that, we're going to do select username, account status, from DBA users, where username equals. Okay, anytime you are doing a select on a user, it always has to be capital. Okay, as you can see, the HR account is locked, and we're gonna do OE and Scott as well. So let's go ahead and get that out the way. You can just do this with me. where username equals OE and users where username equals Scott. Okay, as you can see, they're locked. OE sum is actually open, so we won't worry about him. But to unlock these accounts, you just want to do alter user HR account. Wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, account. As a matter of fact, let's do that. We'll go ahead and give HR a password. We'll change the password. Alter user HR identified by, and for HR we're just gonna do HR. So this is basically saying change user HR password to HR, and we're gonna do account unlock. Okay, alter user OE identified by OE. If the account is locked, just do the same thing. Account unlock, and that OE is capital. We don't want it to be capital. Okay, and the last one, alter user Scott identified by. For Scott, they always use Tiger, so we'll do Tiger. Account unlock. I typed something wrong. I spelled identified wrong. Identified by Tiger. Account unlock. Alright, so now if we were to go back and do those commands, select username, account status from DBA Users. And I can't stress enough, you will be using DBA Users table a lot. So go ahead and write that down somewhere. I told you all to, go ahead and start keeping a list of, SQL commands you use often, Linux command you use often. I would put this down on the Linux command used often until you're familiar with it. From DBA Users, where username equals HR. Alright, so it's open. So we're basically done with that part. So let's see what we have next on the list to do. So we did this. Okay, revoke privileges. Users should not have. Okay, when you first create the database, HR, OE, they have accounts. They have privileges that they should not have. And I'm going to show you all what I mean by this better than I can tell you all. We're going to look at the scripts because we're going to use the scripts to see that. We have system privileges and object privileges. Let me explain the two differences between the two. Okay. Object privileges are privileges such as, objects are things such as your tables, views, synonyms, index. Objects are anything the schema owns. Objects are anything the user owns. So we're going to look at the objects that HR have first. And to do that, we're just going to we got to go into SQL. Anytime you see .SQL, that always has to be ran in SQL. So anytime you want to run a script, you do @ and we're going to do object privileges .SQL. Okay, now they're asking for the schema owner. The schema owner is going to be HR. So, alright, let me scroll up. I think it created a list. I think I would rather use that list. So I'm going to exit out here. It did. VI into object priv txt. Alright. Alright, I already have HR highlighted. Basically, it's saying that, okay, this is an object. Countries, this table, what it is saying, HR has grants on this table. The grants that object have is select and references. If we scroll down, HR also have grants on department. The privilege that HR have is select. It's also saying that they have grants on employees table. And it says references. Okay. So you all see it says they have select too. So this means that they can reference that table or they can select on that table. And the select is they can basically see anything on that table. So based off of this, like jobs, HR will be able to see anything on the jobs table. So now the objects, no big deal. They can have this access. This is fine. So that's just the way. If you want to see what a user object privileges are, as far as what table they on, what table they can access, that's how you would do it using that script. I think that script will be beneficial to you all in your career. I found it online and I like it a lot. So the next privileges we're going to look at is going to be the system privileges. So we're going to go back into SQL Plus and we're going to do add sys underscore privs.sql. Okay, it created a list, so we're going to exit out of here, ls minus ltr, and then we're going to view the system privs.text. Now we want to just see HR. We don't want to see every user, so we're going to start with HR. Okay, so based off of this, if you look at it, it's telling you that the system privileges that HR has, and hopefully this will help you all understand the difference between object privileges. Object privileges are just, like I said, you have access to, you can see information on that table. But what this gives you the ability to do is create and change things. Now for HR, in my database, HR is a regular user. I don't want HR to be able to change a session. I don't want HR to be able to create a database link. I don't want HR to be able to do this, or create a session. Yes. No. As a matter of fact, I don't want them to be able to, yes, they can create a session. Create a session is when you say SQL Plus and then you try to connect. Like if your user wanted to do a SQL session, that's fine. But I don't want them to be able to create a sequence, a synonym, create views, create tables. I don't want them to have that. That's too much. Your normal users, they're only going to be able to do selects as far as a production environment anyways. If it's a developer, you may give a developer access to be able to create views, to create tables and stuff, because a developer have to do custom code and stuff. So a developer, yes, but for the most part, regular users, they don't get this. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically take away these from the HR, and we're going to look at OE, and we're going to look at Scott. If they have them, we're going to take them. They can have unlimited table space. There's nothing wrong with that. The ones that I want to take away are these. So I'm going to highlight this and I'm going to copy it, and what I'm going to do is, I guess I can use my notes because I need to make a note to do this, and I'm going to paste it here. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and log out of here, and SQL plus sysdba, and remember we are right now revoking privileges users should not have. To do that, what you're gonna do is you just type revoke and you go back here, revoke alter session from HR. Revoke succeeded, revoke create database link from HR. Revoke create sequence from HR. Okay, revoke make sure they have create session. They need create session. Revoke create synonym from HR. Oh, wrong thing. That's not gonna work. Create synonym from HR. And revoke create view from HR. Okay, so we just did the HR table. Now we're gonna go back to that list and we're gonna see what OE has. So view system privs.txt. And by the way, you guys, this is something that I do every day on my job, managing users. You have to make sure your database is secure, and one of the ways is by making sure that your users have everything they need. They do not have anything that they do not need. If they have way too many privileges, that's a security risk. You have to make sure they have exactly what's specified. So now we're just going to look at OE. If we look at OE, OE has some things too. So we're going to do copy. And right now, like I said, we're just treating them like they're regular users. So if they were regular user, they would not have this, not in a production environment. So we go back into SQL plus. All right, and we revoke create database link from HR. Let me see what, oh, my bad, I put the wrong user. Revoke create database link from OE. Revoke create materialized view from OE. Okay, and then revoke create. They want create session now, remember that. You're going to be granting a lot of create sessions. Anytime you create a new user, you're going to have to give them create session. I can show you all that after this, okay? Revoke create, where am I? Synonym from, let's see, from OE. Revoke create view from OE. Revoke query rewrite from OE. Alright, so now we just did that. Let's go check Scott. I think Scott is okay. Last time I remember doing this, I think he's okay. Yeah, see, he only have unlimited table space. So he's okay. So now what we're going to do is going to remove that and then rerun the script. I don't think I have to remove it, but I just want to. Remove system privs.txt. Alright, now we're going to go back into SQL plus, and then we're going to run sys _privs dot SQL again. and we're going to exit out, and we're going to go back to, well, ls minus ltr, and then we're going to view system priv.txt. Now we're going to look at HR, and now you see what HR has because we took away the privileges. So now they only have those two privileges, and now we can do OE. And you see what OE has? So that tells you that it was successful. So now I said that I would show you all about the create sessions and stuff. We're going to create a user right quick. Just looking over what we have to do. We're going to create a user right quick. So we'll go ahead and exit out of this. Alright. So SQL plus SysDBA, and let's see, create user test. As a matter of fact, I'll make a my test for my test user, and identified by welcome 2013, something very generic. Alright, we just created a user. Now, you guys, let me show you. This is what I do. Let's say if this was real and I was at work, I just created a user and I gave them this password. The first thing I'm going to do, describe DBA users. Alright, select username, account, status, where username equal my test. Oh, you all know what I did? I always forget to do that. It's such a habit. I don't know why I forget, but I do. Count status from DBA users where username equals my test. Pull this over a little bit so we can see. Okay, it says it's open. Normally it says it's locked, but okay, it's open. So let me show you all something. Let's say I connect my test, right? You all remember what the password was? It was welcome 2013. Alright, you see this? It says user my test lacks create session privilege. Log on denied. If you don't give them a create session, they will not be able to log into the database. That's why they have to have that create session. So we'll go back into it. So you want to grant create session to my test. Now if you connect my test, oh, putting in the wrong password. They're able to connect. So that's why that's important. You all give me just 1 second. Let me see how long this video